Hello, church, and welcome. I'm glad to be able to have the opportunity to go ahead and speak with you. It's been a really interesting 2 months, hasn't it? Where we have tried to comply with local authorities, tried to comply with the urgency that was out there as far as the uncertainty of what would happen with this COVID-19. And I want to commend each one of you because as your pastor, I've been praying for you and I've been doing all that we can to maintain our connection through online Bible studies, through throwing out announcements, streaming the services. I want to just give my appreciation to leadership and to so many of you that have been involved and so many of you that have continued to give faithfully, continue to watch faithfully, invite people faithfully, connect via Bible studies, be praying for one another. And I just can't say enough. It's been very heartwarming to see this type of participation and love for God and love for the church. And now we face another time of decision, a time of decision that doesn't come lightly. It takes prayer. It takes really just waiting on the Lord, which we've done. And May 31st is approaching. That is a week from this coming Sunday. And on May 31st, after prayer and consideration, we are deciding to take a step of faith and do what thousands of other churches in California are deciding to do, and that is that they are going to reopen. Now, when I say reopen, it's not that we've ever been closed, because we've been faithfully serving God this whole time. But reopen as far as doing what the Bible tells us to do in person, which is to not forsake the assembling of ourselves together. Now, we believe that we can do that in a very pragmatic or sensible way. Our sanctuary obviously has room in it, even when we were completely at capacity and everybody was here. There's plenty of room to spread out. And so we are going to go ahead and take the social distancing precautions of common sense and use those practices as we regather on May the 31st. So we want to encourage you, first of all, that if you, I just want to tell you that I want to encourage you to come, okay? However, if you are sick, have been sick, or are considered in a very high-risk category and you're not comfortable coming, please understand that continuing to watch online at home is not in any way a negative thing. We encourage you to do that in whatever level that God leads you and that you're comfortable. We don't want anybody to be sick. We don't want anyone to put themselves at risk. And so we encourage you, you can continue to watch online at home. The stream will continue. We're not changing that. In fact, that's here to stay. And so if anything, we're excited because during this pandemic type of crisis, the Lord has led to improvements in that, and we're now increasing our reach as we reach out to others. All across the country, and in some cases even out of the country, people are watching the services. But for those of you who would be open and willing to return on May the 31st, we encourage you to come here and celebrate in person. And this is what we're going to do. You come in. Even though I don't like masks, for those out in the congregation and the platform, I'm not going to do it because you don't want to look at me through the mask. But in the congregation, we're going to encourage that you do need to wear the mask, okay? And when you come in, we're going to have hand sanitizer stations. Go ahead and do that. And then also, we encourage you to sit by family or household unit. So if you're in the same family or in the same household, then go ahead and sit together. And then if you're not, be at least 6 feet apart in all directions from other people, not only for your own comfort level and safety, but also to respect the comfort level and safety of others who might feel more strongly or less strongly about it than you do. And we're not going to do our things of the hugging and the handshaking and all those types of things, but we do want to gather in the building because we believe it's important to do that and to have that fellowship and to have that contact and to lift our voices together up to the Lord, because there's just something about online that in many cases, often for people, it just isn't quite the same. In making this decision, I want to assure you that a lot of factors have gone into it. Along with prayer, I've looked at other godly leaders in other churches that I believe are preaching the Bible as well. I believe that God tells us in His Word that the Spirit is not divided. And when the Spirit is leading, then there'll be unity amongst God's people. One of the great things that's happened during this pandemic time is that a lot of us as churches have learned that the true church is not our particular building, but it is everywhere. We're believers that are placing their faith and trust in Jesus Christ alone for their salvation. We are all one church, just in different local areas and jurisdictions. And so I've looked to other leaders that I respect who have been praying along as well. And like I said, thousands of them in California are deciding that we're going to reopen no matter what on May the 31st. Now, some people would raise the question and say from Scripture, are we disobeying the law? Because it does tell us in Scripture in Romans 13 that we are to obey the governing authorities. But also, if you caught my Bible study on this, it tells us in Acts chapter 5, when they were forbidden to proclaim the word and to be preaching Jesus to the people, that Peter was led by God to say, for in those cases, we are to obey God rather than man. We feel, and many leaders feel, that churches have been unfairly classified in our state as non-essential, when other things that are just as, not necessarily less essential, but people are allowed to reopen up, people are allowed to use social distancing practices and allowed to go to those things, but not worshiping the Lord together. And looking at this also, as you look at the law, you have to understand that federal law and the Constitution of the United States is citing and has warned the state of California that it's unconstitutional to not allow churches to gather together. And the church is being distinguished out while others, other businesses and other institutions are being allowed to reopen. And so we feel that we are obeying God, and we are also obeying the law of the land as far as the United States is concerned and the Constitution. So these are the steps that we are going to take. Now, I'm going to outline one other thing for you, and that is that we do not want to enter into this time lightly. We want to enter into it with excitement, and we want to enter into it with anticipation. And in so doing, I want to challenge you to do something that we should be doing anyways. And that is that starting this Sunday, I want to encourage you to an entire week of concentrated prayer and fasting. Now you're saying, oh, wait, am I going to fast for a whole week? Yes and no. I'm going to lay that plan out in a different video for you. And if you want to go on tonight to my Zoom Bible study, I'm going to give you more details on this. And that tonight will be at 8 p.m. on Zoom, Zoom code 626-374-7721. All right. And we're going to lay out this time of prayer and fasting over the next week. This is important because we want to see a move of God like we've never seen before. Our God is powerful and He has not changed. But are we literally seeking out His power? On Sunday, May the 31st, the message title will be Secret Power. And it is going to highlight the power that comes from the Spirit of God as we yield to Him fully. I'm looking forward to sharing that with you, and I hope to see each one of you here. Well, those are the announcements that I have for now. I hope this will encourage you. If you have any questions, you can feel free to shoot me a text or a message. I'll be more than happy to respond to you. God bless you. I love you. I thank you for your faithfulness, and I look forward to when we're going to be together very, very soon. Take care.